I am a sonographer. I was born deaf and am the only deaf person in my family. Let me tell you about how I ended up being hired for this job. Initially, I had a job in another state. I got that job from my internship. It was a work experience internship that then offered me a job after graduation. Since I was waiting for my husband to finish his degree, I accepted the job offer. My husband completed his degree and we moved here. This facility had a job opening, and thank God for my background of internship and work experience. During the interview, of course, they asked out of curiosity how I would do my job without hearing and how I would communicate with patients. I explained the process and realized it had helped immensely that I had actually experienced being on the job. At the end of the interview, I asked, "How would you feel if you have a deaf person on your team?" The interviewer was taken aback and took some time to consider. They said, "You've worked just fine in this field before, and I see no reason not to hire you." Barriers I experienced were mostly related to communication. For example, while in the operating room, OR staff wore masks that blocked their mouths, so I was unable to lip read. Experiencing that, I realized it was important that I communicate with the surgeon before we entered the operating room, so that we could develop a plan of action. I would ask the surgeon for their expectations, giving them an opportunity to communicate with me, so that when we got in the OR, I was already familiar with the surgical procedure. If anything unexpected occurred, the surgeon would talk to one of the assistants, who would then come around and type his message on my ultrasound machine so that I could proceed as needed. Communication was one of the biggest barriers. The medical staff and professionals, for the most part, have been wonderful. They've been very creative. One surgeon suggested getting a wireless lapel mic and displaying speech-to-text on the big screen in the OR. The other staff in the OR were very thankful because the OR is a noisy environment. Everyone has a hard time hearing. So my needs as a deaf person ended up benefiting everyone, which was nice.